Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm in the studio and I'm so excited about this 30-day challenge from my friend Kathy. It's also a blog hop, so be sure to check out the links in the description box below. There's a lot going on. I'm really excited because I have had this love of coloring since I was a little kid, and like most of you, probably feel the same way. Coloring has many therapeutic benefits and is a great creative outlet, so I love taking on this 30-day challenge for the first time. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let's go to coloring. To get started, I've decided to stamp some of these new designs from Waffle Flower Crafts and a set from Sweet Stamp Shop. I've gathered my Traveler's Notebook insert along with a piece of American Crafts cardstock, an acrylic block, and archival ink. My initial thought is to stamp in my Traveler's Notebook so I can just color on the go. Beginning with this mandala design, I'm going to peel off the photopolymer stamp and place it down to mount on the acrylic block. I want to get plenty of ink on the entire stamp, so I'm trying to get suitable amount of coverage. I may be going a bit overboard with the inking, but because I'm not the best stamper, I just want to make sure I'm covered. Once I finally decide that there's enough ink on the stamp, I will stamp it onto the American Crafts cardstock. There's no real game plan, but I've decided to stamp it on the smooth side because the other side is a bit textured. So I'm going to hold this down and put a lot of pressure, and that looks like an awesome stamping job. Now I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper so that I can slide it under here because I want my design to live in the corner of this piece of paper, and I'm just going to stamp it down. I re-inked off camera. I'm not going to show you every step of the way or else this video would be 20 minutes long and I don't think you'd want to see that. With this Lawn Fawn stamp chamois, I'm just cleaning off my stamp. It's the best way I've found to clean my stamps. That's easy and somewhat effortless. Because I'm not the best at cleaning my stamps, I found that this is the best way for me to get it done. So now I'm going to take this design and I'm trying to get an ample amount of ink on it as well. I don't really have a game plan of the whole layout of this piece of cardstock, but I know that what I can do is eventually cut out the designs if I wanted to. But as I'm pressing down here, I thought I had enough pressure and enough ink, but it turns out I missed a spot over there. I'm not personally too worried about it. I know that there are a lot of people who are perfectionists out there, and you guys are probably much better stampers than I am, but I've given myself grace and I'm not too worried about it. Plus, this is just an exercise that's supposed to be therapeutic and relaxing, so you shouldn't stress too much about your stamping or your coverage. And this is something that I had to really kind of hone in on a few years ago when I realized that crafting shouldn't look entirely perfect. I know that there are many people who make it look that way, and that's wonderful and I admire them, but for some reason I just can't make all my projects look perfect, and that's part of my process. Speaking of non-perfection, this right here is a perfect example of how it didn't turn out good at all because I had layers underneath it on pages, and I'm just going to have to cover it up. So I'm taking this piece of scrap craft cardstock. It's light craft from American Crafts, and it's, how many times can I say craft right there? And it's smooth, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp down the design, and my plan is to just lift it up, and it's something that I can cut and mount on to cover the mistake later. Now I want to just stamp this simple border design all the way around the page, actually not all the way around, but just on a few sides. And because I don't know if I'm going to keep this all together, I don't think that's really the point. I personally would rather get something down on paper like this cute little paintbrush, which I might fill in that white area with some brush scripting or lettering. But really the part of the process that I enjoy most is just going with the flow instead of trying to plan everything out exactly, because it doesn't turn out that way anyways. That's what I found in my crafting. I have a lot of happy accidents and some not so happy ones that I just adjust my perception on so that I can move on and really get to the point of coloring on the go and relaxing as a therapeutic exercise. Okay, so these UB colored pencils are something that I took from Jack. I'm actually at home now coloring them in. I found that I had like an extra hour or so while he was napping, and I just wanted to relax and get this video done. And also, I was so excited to color in this page. So I haven't used colored pencils in a long time. It's very basic. I'm not using any fancy techniques or anything, but I thought it would be fun to kind of go over some thoughts that I had while I was coloring. I made some realizations as I was doing this and going through the creative process that I thought might be enlightening to share. When I first started coloring, I noticed that I felt a bit anxious and maybe a bit overwhelmed at all the little spaces. But once I brought focus and became more mindful about the whole reason I was coloring, I began to relax and ease into the process. The point is not to rush through the time you have to color, even though your goal may be to finish coloring an entire page. What I discovered was more important for me was to use this as a meditation practice. I have attempted meditation with Deepak Chopra and Oprah's 21-day mindfulness challenge, but I found that it was difficult for me to sustain. It's something I'm practicing because I think it's extremely beneficial, and I know many high performers in various fields who swear that meditation has transformed their lives. It's something I truly want to have integrated into my life, but think that enjoying the creative process may be my way of meditating. Creating art just for the heck of it has been a tremendous help with my anxiety. I'm much better when I'm able to take even just 15 minutes a day to make something. It makes me a better mom, partner, business owner, and overall has really made me happier. One of the other things that makes me happy is new supplies. Now, these Copic markers are actually my mom's, but she let me borrow them. I don't really know what I'm doing when I'm coloring with Copics. So if you're looking for a tutorial, don't watch this one. There are plenty of YouTube videos out there that are much better and more instructional. I was simply playing with these markers because I get excited about new tools and new techniques, and I think that part of the process is just enjoying yourself when you're experimenting, not to get caught up in all the technicalities of it. So with these markers, I was just completely playing around. The other coloring sheet took me about an hour to finish, and I played around with these markers for about 5 minutes. So I think that if you can embrace the time that you have to color, it's such a great gift that you can give yourself. This is my first time participating in the Daily Marker 30-Day Coloring Challenge. However, it's obviously not my first time coloring, and I'm sure it's not yours either. I love that this simple challenge encourages you to pause and take as little as 5 minutes to color every day in July. So that is my plan, and I hope that you feel inspired to do the same. You can use whatever supplies you may have. For those of you who want to know this color, it's Holiday Blue. I just think that it's so encouraging and fun to get your coloring on in whatever way works for you. So I wanted to check the bleed through, and there is bleed through, but that's okay because I'm just going to glue these 2 pages together. And I'm really happy that I have this in my traveler's notebook so that in case I get 5 minutes anywhere, I can go ahead and color. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Leave any questions or comments below. Hope you feel inspired to get those creative juices flowing. Thanks for watching. That was so much fun. Let's get our coloring on. Woohoo!